Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Pike over here. We're gonna have a wonderful video today. What I'm gonna talk about is about adoption. So there's something called um, the S curve. So basically, we're just gonna take this blog post for what it is right now. But uh, what it's saying right now. Let's say we take the presumption that the adoption level is at this point, for example. Let me zoom in a little bit. So let's say, um, so we have, let's say 20%, right? Which is really, um, which is for me considered very huge. So at this level right there, the adoption is massive, right? So we know that we only have like maybe 500, maybe 200 million people, maybe around 500 million people, half a billion, just based on the number of addresses on chain. We know there's way more than that, way more addresses because the Lightning is exploding right now. Most people in developing countries are using, most of them will be using Lightning. Um, so there's a lot we don't know, but at this point, let's say we are at this level of adoption, and I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this, because my goal in this video is to show you at some level, right, when Bitcoin get to some level of market cap, for example, silver or gold, where that can take us in terms of adoption and how this can be a good thing for people, right? So let's go back to this S curve. So now you're here. Basically, you're still early majority, right? So let's say we just passed the. Let's say we are in between early adopters and early majorities, in my opinion. So it's still early adopters right now, right? Because you still like you can still get 1 million satoshis for just a few $100, right? So it's really early adopters. When you look at the Bitcoin price, um, what I'm gonna show you basically the Bitcoin price. Basically, that's the price right here, right? And then this is the stock to flow. Right? This is just the projection, stock to flow, and then this is just a rainbow chart right here, right? So there's a long way to go. So now, so you have this S curve, right? So basically, when you get, let's say, after a few more years, let's say we have like in the after the next halving, right? And then we get to the point of late adopters, right? Let's say um we get like we double the amount of people right now, which is, let's say we get to a billion people. Right? The world is at 8 billion. Let's say we get to a billion people on the Bitcoin economy. Yeah, people using Lightning, Bitcoin, they're using like third layers and all those application on Bitcoin. So you get to a billion people. Those people, they won't even know if they are using the base layer. So they are just using basically um, the all the top layers of Bitcoin, right? So now at this point, when you have technologies like I'm gonna show you, um, you have technologies like stove, electricity, right? If you're using let's say you're using stove, right? You may not be thinking that you're using a stove. You just, you're not thinking it's using electricity. You think, oh well, this is just a stove, right? But those are layers on top of electricity network, right? So without the electricity, you wouldn't be able to start like electric stove, right? You could be using a wood stove, but like having an electric stove would be very hard without electricity, right? So just like you when you're using like iron, right? So those things, these are things that facilitate that on top of electricity. You're not thinking about electricity when you're using those things, right? But back in the day, they used to have all those fight against electricity because they think of electricity was gonna, destroy human. They're gonna kill people. It's too powerful, right? So when Nikola Tesla invented AC power. It was so hard for people to really conceptualize that, and it was like you had like other people who didn't want that to happen, right? So just like the car and the horses and so many other things, right? So you have technologies like internet, right? Like the internet. So you see, the internet adoption is there's a lot of things we're using today. Basically, those things they go on top of the internet, right? So we're not thinking about the internet all the time when we're using Wi-Fi. It's just layers on top, right? So this is where we're gonna be, let's say, um, like 8 years from now, 8 to 10 years from now, right? So there will be, let's say, we got like a billion people, right? Double what we have right now, and then we keep on going because this is what's gonna happen. You see this the stage, or like you see the TV. So at this point, right, when at low, very at this point right there, when the blue cross the green, you know it start exploding, right? And then the time span, the time range is very small, but the adoption is exploding because at that point your mom knows have one, and then somebody else have one, and then they have to. I remember going to watch TV to my friend's house because I didn't have a TV, and I used to go watch soccer and on my to my friend's house. So those things, but after and I feel like hey I need one too, right? And I tell my parents, right? So and they buy one. So this because of the fact that others have it, other ones will want to have it too, right? So for example now, like just before the holiday, and I tell a coworker at work, I said, "Did you read the white paper, Bitcoin white paper before?" He said, "No. What is that?" And I said, "It's something very interesting. If you like math, if you understand math and basics writing, you will know what it is." So and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna check it out." And then the second day, I asked him, "Did you check it out?" He said, "No." And I said, "Okay, okay, no problem." He said, "What it is?" I said, "Well, I want you to see it for yourself." And then he came, he checked it out, and then he come back to me. He said, "Oh, this was interesting. I was not expecting that." And I said, "What did what did you see? What did you understand?" He said, "Wow, that's a very powerful concept." So, like, there's still a lot of people who doesn't know about Bitcoin yet. Right? Ask you like few, anybody on the street, right? Why? Because you will see Bitcoin adoption happen more in countries like Nigeria, right? 32% of the population are using it. Like, it's exploding over there. There's a need for it, and so there's a constant need where people's money are constantly devaluating because of inflation. So they need a savior. They need to have a better protection. So they are flooding to Nigeria. But not only that, because they are looking for money that is not confiscatable, right? They cannot freeze your money. So they are, stopping people from withdrawing from a certain amount, like very small amount a day. So so this also push people more and more towards Bitcoin because this is what government don't understand. It's like the more you're trying to keep people in, the more they will go. Right? People are looking for freedom, and Bitcoin is that freedom. because people they cannot freeze your money in Bitcoin. So it's just your Bitcoin, right? They most they don't have to know do you have it or not. So so and in inflation, right? Protection like Vietnam, Philippines, um, Turkish lira is falling. Peru as well. You see all those countries that have a lot of problems with inflation and money confiscation. They are flooding into Bitcoin, right? So there's a need. Not so much in countries like US, even though all the buzz is in US and all those places, but it's more like the need, the seriousness is in countries like Venezuela, Nigeria, um, uh, Argentina, places like El Salvador. Well, basically it's kind of a little bit top down, but like they still have a need for it because they don't have their own currency, but and also the U.S. dollar is devaluating, make pieces them off in some way. So anyway, so now and why this is gonna be good? Why I'm so hopeful for these people? Because let's say Bitcoin go to a market cap of gold, okay? Market cap of gold 12 trillion. Let's just take 12 trillion. And then the current market cap of Bitcoin right now, the Bitcoin market cap is at like 320 billion. So what I did basically, I used this calculator and I take the 12 trillion, um, you know, so and I divided by 320 billion. So it gives me about 37x, right? So Bitcoin have to go up from here. It has to multiply. It can be multiplied by 27x. So in 27x, so Bitcoin will be at the market cap of gold, right? So at this point, right, 37. So 37, if you multiply that by the current price, let's say 16,000. Um, so it will be about like 500,000, right? Let's say 600,000, right? So at 600,000 in the stock to flow, the price will be about there. Let me zoom in to show you guys. No, that's not. I'm gonna zoom in to show you where the price is gonna be at 500,000. Right? So about just wait, just wait there. So at 500,000, say this will be maybe about somewhere in 2025. By 2025 and 20, yeah, around 2025. So all the way to the end, yeah. So about 2025. Okay. So around 2025, 2026, right? So let's say I just after the Bitcoin halving, so we get to those levels, right? And what I'm so hopeful, and at those points, it will be very hard for Bitcoin to drop, like have those massive drawdowns. But I know like Terra will facilitate more of those transactions. You can use the US dollar over the Lightning Network and send back and forth US dollars and Terra. It's gonna be good as well. Um, I envision a world where people use the Bitcoin for saving for long term. If you some people may have like a huge amount, they may be considering to cold storage it. But for the average Joe, it's gonna be more like a bank account. Like let's say you have a Moon wallet in your pocket, right? You don't have to pay $16 a bank account fee, a monthly fee. So think about it. Let's say like sometimes we don't think about. In average, people pay $20 for a month for a bank account, right? So that's $240 a year. Okay, so this $240 a year, that's a lot of money, right? Let's say you're just saving that into Bitcoin, right? So that's a lot of money, right? So it's just like, let's say instead of putting that into that, let's say you're putting that, I'm gonna do that calculation. You're putting that into this year into Bitcoin, and then why you using a bank account, right? So why you using a bank account basically? Uh, so bank account is mostly used to have like to receive payment from your work and then to spend. That it's mostly the average Joe. Like this is what we use a bank account for. Thinking about you spending that a month. Let's say we just say spending $16 a month. Um, $16 a month for a bank account. So in like this is just in 3 years, right? You're living in Bitcoin. You will, let's say you go up 100%, right? This $500 you would be spending in 3 years would cost you would worth $1,000 in Bitcoin. So this effort only because Bitcoin can save you this money, this amount of money a month. This is huge. This is massive because now you can save all this money, right? Instead of spending that money to a bank, right? That's not that useful to you, right? So that just facilitate transaction for you. Now you could just save that, right? So you save that and then you just put it into Bitcoin. I would say, well, how Bitcoin go down? Well, you wouldn't have it if you didn't have, you wouldn't have it at all. But now you have it. You wouldn't have being able to save that money without the Bitcoin. Right now, if you having a Bitcoin app wallet on your pocket on your phone, now you can save this money. Right? You can afford to put $16 a month into Bitcoin, and now in 5 years, this gives you 3,000, right, into Bitcoin, like about 8 million satoshis. So this is the progress I see. It's like Bitcoin succeed more in the margins, right? Like so that's why you see people like in places like Africa, Nigeria, adopting Bitcoin the most because this is where Bitcoin shine the most, where people need it the most. Like most people in some places like US in the West, it's all like people just trying to trade it and try to get top the market and all those things. But those people, they're not trying to have saving like big saving. They just wanna transact. They just want. Most people they live hand to mouth, right? They just buy a product and then they sell it, and then they will buy again and they sell. They find some margin. They eat on it, and then that's how they help their family. So that's what I think. And because when the price basically go up, the hash rate will go up. And then when the hash rate go up, you will have the mining basically gonna be booming. The mining industry gonna be massive because the mining industry will be embedded into our lives, right? It will be necessary for the grid to function. It will be at a point where it's indispensable for place or people to use it. You have like so many things people will need the mining to operate, right? So you have like places like it will be a necessity to have Bitcoin mining into your life, right? Just like you have electricity, right? Bitcoin is the energy. You could just use the Bitcoin and then just transact it to your family, and the family convert it into energy. And then they take the energy, they power their house, they power their life, and power their cell phone. Or you can just use that satoshis and send it to the power provider, and just they boost your phone with energy. Right? So many of those things can happen, right? And just like a Breeze wallet, you can have a Lightning node on your wallet right there. You can self custody your own keys. Nobody have to hold it for you. All those things are coming, and it's so helpful. So this is why I wanted to make this video right today. It's not about speculation at all. It's about like what the hope. My hope is that people can use the money that they can't freeze from them. They can freely operate in a market where they can buy, sell, and nobody can take, nobody, no middleman in the middle to take cut and to you know to destroy their saving, their life, right? So those are the things that I'm hopeful for, when people can just get paid into their feature phone, right? So they don't need internet connection. They can just receive lightning transactions, things like that. So, anyways, I just wanted to throw this out there, guys. If you like, please comment. Stream me some stats if you find value, and you can share it too if you want to. If you have somebody who you think can be interested into this, and yes, I hope you guys enjoy. And before I leave, the last halving. Um, so I don't know. The last halving, I think the last time I checked is less than 500 days. So yeah, so this is just it is what it is. Just this year, right, dollar cost averaging. Um, Price is pretty low now, so it could go way lower, but it's just long time. Short time preference. Have a long perspective and lower your time horizon. Just your time horizon. Just make it like 5-10 years to the future. So don't just look at day-to-day trading and stuff like that. And then try to understand Bitcoin more. Read the white paper. Try to understand a few whatever you can, and listen to more podcasts and understand why Bitcoin and why it was created. January 3rd, 2009. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for bank and all that. Just today's January 3rd, and I'm very I wanted to make this video for today as well for this reason. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Please again check out. Think about subscribing if you like this type of videos. If you like my style of teaching, please subscribe, and then you can stream me some sats. Anyways, guys, this was Bike Over, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bike Over.